Hello there, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to the 134th episode of the Retrotopia podcast. My name's Alan, very nice, very British, and today we are talking about a mascot kart racer released for the Nintendo 64. No, not that one, we're talking about the other one, although there is some debate as to which one is better, and that's something we'll be getting into today, I think, a little bit. It is, of course, Diddy Kong Racing. Now, for the record, and for those of you who have been around for long enough, you might know that I am not the biggest racing or kart racer guy, so I have very little skin in the game when it comes to which one of these is the superior kart racer for the Nintendo 64. But, you know, we get into it, and I think we had a pretty good discussion about the pros and cons of kind of both, because you can't really talk one without bringing up the other one. That being said, if you're only interested in listening to the Diddy Kong Racing talk, then why not hop a shortcut about half an hour, skip ahead, and you should get to the game chat. But that being said, you know, we do have our intro to do as well, and we encourage you to stick around because it's quite a good time, I reckon. Going to talk to some Patreons, play some games, and all of that good stuff. But before I do all of that, of course, I do need to just take a moment to get our plugs out of the way. So Linktree, linktr.ee/retrotopia. That's think I've done that slightly wrong. Linktree/Retrotopia, that's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. I've done it however many times now, and for some reason, just today, brain ain't braining. But that's where you can find all of our social medias. You can find our TeePublic Dashery merchandise page, where you can get some of our fantastic Retrotopia logos slapped on a t-shirt, on a baseball cap, whatever you like, really. The options are, well, not limitless, but certainly expansive. You can also find our Patreon. Now, our Patreon is free to join at our base level, of course, and for that you get, obviously, all of the Retrotopia shows. You get to listen to our Quick Play mini review series, where we pick a game and talk about it. You know, perhaps a game that's a bit short, or a bit odd, or that we don't all have access to, or just one of us wanted to talk about for 20 minutes or so. And you get that every couple of weeks. You also get access to Retro Bites 15 days early with an extra Patreon only topic tacked on the end there. That's Brian and Joe's little talk show that they have going on over there, and that's a fantastic time. You get to vote in polls, and we have one coming up very, very soon. It is an RPG poll, and even I don't know exactly what games are on there. That's just how secretive it is, so keep an eye out for that. You get to write in, you get to comment, you get to play choose one, lose one, and all of that good stuff as well. And actually, you know what? Something we don't often mention is that we do also have access to our Retrotopia After Dark, which is kind of our pre-game, our warm-up before a main episode of the show. And the reason I bring that up now is that we just released the After Dark for this very episode, and we are talking about the upcoming schedule. We pick a few games for the next few months, and so if you want to get a sneak peek and what episodes are going to be coming up soon, give that a listen and thank me later. We do also have a $2 tier, and for that you get all of the same perks at the base level, but you do also get access to New Game Plus, which is our kind of modern game review show. Though we get to talk about some of the modern games that we've been playing recently. And you also get to pick and choose a quick play and throw it at a host of your choice and put us through our paces. See what we think about a game that you, well, either love or hate enough to want to throw our way. And those are genuinely a good time. You do also at the hero tier get a shout out in the intro, and we have two this week. So a huge Retrotopia thank you to, and I should have had this ready before I started this, a huge thank you to Duckman3986. I'm going to say that like Duckman3986, and Berry McCockiner. Well, you know, whatever you do between two consenting adults is your business. But thank you for making me read that, and thank you for your support. It means the world to us. Welcome aboard. Now then, something that is available to members of any tier of our Patreon is, of course, the opportunity to write in to our 9-bit banter box. And because it's you guys and because it's you lot that are writing in, that is what makes it so damn culturally elegant. Alrighty then, so we're going to start off this week with Philip My Mouth with Farts, who says, "Really wish I had a clever question to ask right now, just hoping that you are having a good time lately. Keep doing what you're doing and I will come up with a more clever comment next time you do the banter box." Well, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for writing in, Philip, and thank you for your kind words. That's really started me off on a positive note there, and I like that. And listen, you don't have to come up with clever questions. Just any dumb old shit you can think to ask. We're happy within reason to answer just about anything. So thank you for writing in, Philip. Next up, we have Sharkbite, who says, "Fellow Brit here. I have a question with no context. Answer how you wish. Pants or no pants? British version, not that stupid American version." Sharkbite's words, not mine. If you want, I can give. He lives over here, so I'm sure I can find his address if anyone wants to take it up with Sharkbite. No, so pants, obviously, as we Brits refer to as our undergarments. Definitely pants. Pants, boxers, nice snug fitting boxer brief there. I don't like having that much freedom going on down there, and I don't like having that much proximity between certain anatomical features and a zipper, because it's just, if you do it once, you'll never do it again. So thank you Sharkbite, for the hard-hitting questions there. Next up we have The Big Deal, who says, "I recently learned a new word, shagger, thanks to my Instagram and YouTube algorithms introducing me to a British comedian / white gangster rapper named MC Hammersmith. He calls people shaggers but censors it on the on-screen text, leading me to believe it's a curse word, which seems strange coming from a culture that uses the C word so liberally. Alan, what other secret potty words have you been hiding from the rest of us, and can you share them with the class?" I think I've seen this guy, Big Deal. I think this guy, he's on stage and people call out random words and he has to work them into his... He's really good as well. Funny as hell, but like really clever with it as well. Shaggers, that's not really a word that we use very much, but I believe it is more or less a complimentary term of endearment, to describe one who shags a lot. So yeah, quite complimentary there. Secret potty words. I don't know how secret some of these are. I mean, there's, I don't know, bellend. We like bellend. Take that as you will. That's one that we use quite. A wanker. Wanker is quite a popular word over here. And I think a lot of them are just like words that we fuse together. Like, I don't know. What am I thinking of? Like cockwomble or knob jockey, or just random things that we just stick together to make curse words out of. But yeah, the usual, bastard, prick, prat, knobhead, all sorts really. It's a rich tapestry of foul language. Thank you very much. Only Hooli says, "Hello there, Alan. Hello there. Do you have a favourite breed of dog? And if you have a favourite, that means you have a least favourite. So what would that be?" This is a tough question. How do I pick a favourite breed of dog? I mean, German Shepherd comes to mind immediately because my nan had one years ago, and I have never loved anything like I love that dog. That was as much our dog as it was hers. So I miss that dog. But yeah, German Shepherd, a Border Collie. I love a Border Collie. Like Cocker Spaniels, all sorts really. I've got to throw out Beagle there, just in case Sam's listening. Beagles are great, fantastic dogs. So it's really hard to nail. I'll say German Shepherd just because of the nostalgia. And I mean, I guess you're right. You have to have a least favourite, but I mean, it doesn't mean I don't like it. I mean, I'll say something like, I don't know, a Chihuahua or something. I think they're cute. I'd never have one myself. They're cute enough. Anything like that small, you might as well just get a cat. Still, fun dogs, and I would pet one if somebody had one. So, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, if you could eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? I mean, that all depends on how much I can cheat. Now, if I can cheat, I'm going to say pasta, because I love my pasta. And if I just keep it broad like that, that offers a great deal of different sauces and accompaniments that I can add to my pasta. If you're going to get strict with me, then I'm going to say lasagna, because I think lasagna is the ultimate meal. It is pasta. It's got your dairy, it's got your cheese, it's got your meat, it's got your protein, it's got the sofrito, the carrot, the onion, and the celery. So that's what, 3 of your 5 a day, I'm sure. And I think it's just something like Garfield before me. It's something that I could just eat day in and day out and never get tired of. I fucking love lasagna. And now I'm hungry. Munchie says, Alan, you fine British gentleman. Knowing that you, like me, are a whiskey connoisseur, I have a question for you. If you could only pick one style of whiskey, i.e. bourbon, rye, Canadian, etc., what to drink and what would it be? Being from the States, the most abundant you see here is bourbon. Although I like many bourbons, scotches and ryes, Scotches and ryes are my favourite, I see, and I would pick a good scotch any day of the week. Munchie, same. I don't mind bourbon. I'm not too familiar with rye, but I am very much a single malt gentleman. Some of the blendeds are okay. Whites and Mackay I've had recently, which is a blended, which is very inexpensive and quite smooth, but no, it's going to be something like a Balvenie or a Bunnahabhain, which I think that's how you say it, or Lafrague or Lagavulin. I like them. I mean, I like the sweet and the smooth. I also like the very peaty and smoky. So you can't go. Oh, Talisker as well. Oh, that's like a bonfire in your mouth. Oh, beautiful. I've run out of whiskey, actually. I just finished my Lagavulin 16, so I'm not particularly happy about that. We had a good time together. And then finally, Blaine the Hoagie Man says, if you could have an anime-style finishing move, what would it be called? I'd name mine after a lyric from a song and call mine the Dance of the Nocturnal Sun. Oh, that is some epic shit right there. Dance of the Nocturnal Sun. I mean, I don't think I could come up with anything quite as clever as that. I mean, maybe my love of pasta, I'd have a move called the Carbonara Ha, like the Kamehameha, but carbonara. Or I don't know, the British Disappointment, or the Hidden Disagreement, or I don't know. I mean, I wish I could think up something cool from a song. I don't know, maybe Man the Jackhammer or something from Coed and Cambria. But no, nothing anywhere near as clever or as cool as what you've come up with, Blaine. So you win this round, Blaine, but I'll get you next time. And I think that is it for the 9-Bit Banter Box. So thanks for writing in, guys, as always. And listen, I know we've had quite a few people join the Patreon of late, so if you're listening, guys, feel free to write in. We don't bite. I mean, you don't have to. We're happy enough just to have you here listening. But if you think of anything, don't hesitate to write into the 9-Bit Banter Box, because we genuinely love doing this. And while you're at it, you could also submit some choices for our Retrotopia game show, which is known around these parts as Choose One, Lose One.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's Choose One, Lose One, the game where everyone's a loser.
Alright then, let's take some names and kick some asses. So first up on Choose One, Lose One is Munchie, who says, I would like to be able to pick which form of vehicle I get to take to work every day. Car, hovercraft, plane? Done, Munchie, you now have access to all 3 of those. The problem is, with the global economy at the moment, you can't actually afford gas for them. So they're just going to sit in your garage and, or garage. Oh, I said garage. That's not like me. They're going to sit in your garage and you never get to use them. So there you go. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, I would like to be abandoned by my parents, although I am the superior sibling. Sure thing. You're abandoned by your parents who, for some reason, have decided to go on holiday without you, which I think is more or less the plot of Diddy Kong Racing. Excellent, excellent parenting there. The problem is you are now in charge of your entire. You know what? I assume you're American. I'm not sure, but if you're not, your county, your state, your parents have left, and you're now in charge of the entire state. And you now have to fight off a giant evil pig who's trying to take it over, and you do that with impossible foot races around the block. So that just sounds like more hassle than it's worth. Only Hooli says, "Give me some fucking rockets to shoot from my car. Get the fuck out of my way." Multiple Ys there. Okay, Hooli, you have rockets, but to make things fair, I've decided to give literally everyone else on the road rockets as well. And if you think traffic is bad at the moment, just wait till every idiot in a car has rockets to play with. So, I think you've just created not only Armageddon, but Carmageddon. Oh, does anyone remember Carmageddon? That's a blast from the past. The Big Deal says, "I would just love for this game to be readily accessible so I can play it for the first time. And since we literally just got news of the Star Fox 64 remake, my monkey's paw wish will be for a character cameo in the next Mario movie that leads to a full-on Diddy Kong Racing HD remake." Okay, yes, you can have your Diddy Kong Racing HD remake. The problem is that for some reason, Nintendo have decided that in order to punish people for the lackluster response to Mario Kart World, they're going to make Diddy Kong Racing HD even harder than the original game, which means it's basically impossible. So it's going to look great, but you're not going to be able to play it. Blaine the Hoagie Man says, "I'll have a banana." Blaine, I got you a banana when you sent this in 6 days ago, and you haven't come to collect it, so now it's well past its sell-by date. I mean, you can have it, but it's basically mush in a banana skin. Here you go. Enjoy. Blue Yoshi 94 says, "I want a banjo. Interpret this as you will." Oh, I will, Blue Yoshi. I couldn't actually find you Banjo, as in Banjo-Kazooie, but I did find you a full-grown, adult-sized, brown bear called Banjo, and I've put it in your car for you. I wasn't gonna put it in your house because I don't wanna risk your family's health and safety, but that's some shit you're gonna have to deal with. So there is now a giant brown bear living in your car. Uh, Maybe take the bus. And finally, Radmac says, "I choose a less racist version of Taj the Genie." He is kind of racist, isn't he? And I mean, sidebar, I think in the Nintendo, was it Nintendo DS remake or 3DS? I'm not sure. They actually have dialed that back and he's very British now. Do you know what? And I had to think about this. I had to call in some support for this one. This was a hard one. But you know what? You're right. This sort of depiction is not welcome in games, so the character has now been removed altogether. And in his place, he has been replaced with Slippy Toad from Star Fox, who now consistently tells you to do a barrel roll. And now, as if to make this control in this game even harder, you can only do a barrel roll in these races. And now the game is unplayable. Thanks for that. I was enjoying that, you know. I don't know, honestly, that was that was such a stretch. It's very hard to argue about what you asked for there. Um, Certainly didn't see Slippy Toad catching strays in this episode, but there we are. Probably on my mind because of the Star Fox remake. So that's going to do it for Choose One, Lose One. Thanks for playing as always, guys. But we're going to get into our next little section now, which is, as always, the Gentleman's Interlude. In the gilded twilight of 1997, while lesser kart racers fought over mushrooms and plumbing credentials, Diddy Kong Racing arrived like a monocled aristocrat, entering a village pub horse race. Developed by Rare and published by Nintendo, the game launched for the Nintendo 64 on November 21st, 1997. It was, naturally, a children's game designed with the emotional brutality of an unpaid tax collector. Just like a stately nature documentary, one might observe the young gamer entering Timber's island full of confidence, only to be immediately humbled by a walrus, an octopus, and a pig driving a rocket powered tractor. Here, victory is not given, it is extracted through suffering. Rare, operating from rural Leicestershire, with the confidence of a studio that had already conquered platformers and primates, created something gloriously excessive. Hovercrafts, planes, adventure hubs, silver coin challenges, and boss races against a genie elephant called Wizpig, who looked like he collected debts for intergalactic bookmakers. The soundtrack by David Wise and Grant Kirkhope wrapped the experience in cheerful melodies that politely ignored the psychological collapse occurring in living rooms across Britain. And then there was the difficulty. Ah, yes, children expecting a pleasant karting holiday instead discovered a rigorous training academy for future endurance athletes. The hovercraft handed like a shopping trolley on black ice, while the infamous silver coin races transformed ordinary 9-year-olds into trembling philosophers questioning fate itself. A Nintendo DS remake, Diddy Kong Racing DS, followed in 2007, proving that no generation should escape the experience entirely. Like fox hunting or yacht racing, Diddy Kong Racing remains a sport of kings, elegant, absurd, and faintly cruel. Alright, that's quite enough of that. So, before we actually get down to talking some Diddy Kong Racing, we love to hear what you guys have to say about the game of the week. And we have a couple of said comments, which I'm going to find in just a second. I'm so bad at this. Here we go. Munchie says, "What a game! It's a bit controversial, but I have to say this is better than Mario Kart 64. Also, Conker for the win." Munchie, I don't think your take is as controversial as you might think. You know, I have heard the same thing from many people before, so I think I think the fight is ongoing, even all these years later. Richard Jago says, "Quality game. I don't think of either this or Mario Kart as better overall, just different. Having a hub and multiple vehicles is great. Unlocking TT is also one of my top gamer pride achievements. Have any of the Retrotopia gang unlocked him? Fun extra fact, each character has racing stats of acceleration, top speed, and handling, all rated from 1 to 5. TT stats are, if memory serves, 455, with Pipsy being the almost guaranteed next best racer with something like 525. Also, while I don't hate it as much as many others, that octopus can still go fuck itself. Oh, buddy, that octopus can go fuck itself all the way to hell and then a little bit further. I hated that boss. But yeah, no, I did not know that. I mean, that information would have been useful to me when I tried to play the game, Richard. But don't worry, I won't hold that against you. I tell you what, I'm not gonna. We actually talk about a little bit about unlocking TT, so I'm not gonna spoil if anyone actually managed to do it. I am just gonna say I absolutely, definitely did not, because I am terrible at this game. David Hendley says, "One of my favorite games on the N64. Having a story mode to accompany the different racing vehicle types was so cool, even though those silver coin races could be a pain. Looks like I'll need to crank this baby back up in preparation of the podcast." Well, I hope you did, David. And do you know what? Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to spoil all of my thoughts about it, but there is a lot of cool shit in this game and a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting. I never played this back in the day. And I certainly wasn't expecting a story mode. So yeah, that was a nice, pleasant surprise. Only Hooley says, "God, I love this game. I just recently picked up a copy for my collection and I can't wait to do a replay. I never got anywhere close to beating this as a kid, but I loved playing with my dad. Mario really should have taken notes on the story mode concept and the overworld. Agreed. And I like the wholesome playing Diddy Kong Racing with your dad. That is lovely. That warms my heart, Hooley." And finally, Blaine the Hoagie Man says, "I once had a cousin who gaslit me into thinking this wasn't a good game, so I've never played it before." Well, Blaine, I mean, is it good? Is it bad? Maybe stick around to find out. Maybe we can convince you to give it a try. All right. Thanks everyone for writing in as always. We love hearing from you. It's one of my favorite things to do. Whenever the intro rolls around, I love doing the intro. I love talking to you people. You're a wonderful bunch. But I'm going to waste no more of your time, and we are going to get down to business. So, collect some silver coins, try and hit that boost off the starting line, and join me in 6th place as we talk a little bit of Diddy Kong Racing, released for the Nintendo 64 in November of 1997. On your marks, get set, and enjoy the show. Alright, and we are back to talk a little bit of Diddy Kong Racing for the Nintendo 64. And with me as always, he enjoys a good banjo. It's my buddy Brian. And on the other side...
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, there you go. And the artist formerly known as Diddy, it's Sam. How you doing, guys?
Ew. Gross.
Well, it's a name that kind of has some awkward connotations for Nintendo now, is it not?
Yeah, a little bit. Actually, I wonder if that's the reason that's kept this game off the... Well, no, Diddy Kong is still a
I
character.
doubt
No,
it. I mean...
just that's dumb. Never mind. I didn't say that.
I mean, the worst that Diddy's ever done is just make a really fucking difficult racing game. I mean, that's hardly cause for that much concern, right?
Well, before we get into it, I want to bring something up.
Please.
We had a comment on Apple Podcasts there about the keyboard and who it was. I want to take credit for that. That is my keyboard, and I apologize to that fan who actually said nice stuff about us, but then shit all over my very expensive but albeit very loud keyboard. I got like keyboard. I don't want to type anymore, even when I want to know something. So I'm on my phone instead, trying to look stuff up. It's awkward.
For what it's worth.
But I will try to do better.
For what it's worth, I just thought that was just happening inside my own head. You know, I thought that was just
what, the keyboard.
Yeah,
noises?
I thought that was just the sound my brain makes when I'm trying to think. So I'm glad we got that cleared up.
Yeah, so I bought this keyboard when I was building my computer because it's a nice heavy keyboard, and I like the mechanical keyboards, but even my kid says it's too friggin' loud, and now I want to replace it, but I don't want to waste the like $250 this keyboard cost.
I like a nice clicky keyboard, though.
Yeah, to be fair, I thought
Well, I do too.
I thought it was just sitting there with a typewriter.
It's got the carriage return, like
ching.
Ching.
Yeah.
Well, that was...
Oh, who was that comedian that did the typewriter thing? God, I had to look it up, but I can't type in my keyboard. Look what you've done to
Look it
me.
up, or else no.
That was a valuable...
Anyways, all in good fun.
That was a valuable contribution to the show, Brian, and it needed to be said. But to get us back on track, Diddy Kong Racing. Guys.
Anyways, I have another antidote instead of talking about this game.
Well, yeah, well.
anything
worry.
but talking
We'll save
about
it for
this
the
game,
end.
Huh?
Well, Sam, I think you've got the biggest history with this game, haven't you? So why don't you tell us a little
Probably.
bit about that?
Yeah, this is another in the list of many examples where I had asked for, a 64 for Christmas. I think I got this game in probably Christmas of 98, I want to say. So I think the game had been out for a year, but I think, seeing everyone and envying their N64s and their Mario Karts, I really, really wanted Mario Kart. But I got Diddy Kong Racing, and it was like...
We have Mario Kart at home.
Yeah, and Mario Kart at home was Diddy Kong Racing. And I'm glad that I got Diddy Kong Racing, because I really enjoyed this game as a kid. It was actually, it's a more fun experience to play by yourself, because there's an adventure mode, and that is a fun twist in a racing game that I don't know had been really done before. It was like, I had Super Mario 64 and I had Diddy Kong Racing. Those were kind of my first Nintendo 64 games, and they both had that hub world 3D. You go in and do a level and come out, and you can roam around the hub world, and that's a lot of fun. So I played the shit out of this game, and You know what? I'll flex a little bit. I'm quite good at it.
Yes, you are. You have proven that. We have the evidence. This
Yeah.
this is definitely Sam's game. And I think the comparisons, it's going to be absolutely unavoidable. We have to talk about Mario Kart as well when we talk about Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
They're so synonymous with one another. But Brian, you take a bit of an issue with them being spoken of in the same breath, I think. I mean, what's your history with the game? And
Well, I have no history with the game. This is literally the first time I played it, so I guess I don't have the nostalgia for the game that Sam does. So it's just one of those things. Like, I'm not a big fan of the N64, and every time I play another game in the current modern age, it just like solidifies my resolve as to why I don't like the N64. And this is just another game to slap on top of that list. So I'm not going to be overly kind to it, I guess is the word I'm going to say. But I mean, it's a good kart racing. Don't get me wrong. It's no Mario Kart, and I don't know why I've heard so many people come out and say this is better than Mario Kart. It doesn't have the items, it doesn't have the control of the karts itself, and then it has some bullshit boss races. So,
buddy,
yeah.
we'll get it.
So, anyways, yeah, it's not like comparable to Mario Kart, but it does have some interesting takes on the game modes with the planes and the boats and the cars and the racist elephant.
Yeah.
A racially
Weird elephant.
racially charged elephant there that it was a white guy doing that Indian accent.
A British guy,
yes.
no less. Yeah, Rareware is a British company, so
Oh god, you people! Yeah, friggin' take all their stuff and put them in your museum, and then you take their accent. You horrible people.
Well, absolutely. Well, as we've established, we don't actually have an accent of our own, so we just steal other people's. This is just
take other accents into a back alley and beat them up.
Absolutely, that's exactly what. Listen, I've done my part.
But no, but to get back on track. Again, I know I say I'm going to be unkind, but I'm going to be fair to it because I am also looking at this like well over 20 years after this came out, probably close to 30 years, 1997? So yeah, about 30 years after it came out.
Oh, I aged.
Let's do the math.
Right.
Just like
and
more gray
old.
hairs just popped up.
But yeah, so I have to try to bring myself back into little Brian and see how he would have felt about this game when he was loving the N64 because it was neat and the 3D graphics were amazing. It's going to be a little bit hard for me, but I'll try my best to be fair to it.
Yeah, no, I can understand that because I find myself falling somewhere in between the two of you. Like, I can see what this game did and what it tried to do, and I can also see some gripes that I have with it. I mean, I assumed I must have played this game at some point in the past, but we fired it up not long ago. Me and the missus, in fact, because actually one of the fun little quirks of this game is you can actually put in a password and play the adventure mode 2-player, but I'll get into that in a little bit. And I just assumed, like, I'd played Mario Kart. No, I never played Mario Kart back in the day being a Sega kid, so it was much, much later. So I have neither the nostalgia for this or Mario Kart. But no, we fired it up the other day and I was just like, I have absolutely no recollection of this game. I must not have played it. And I mean, that's going to kind of bring me to my first point about this game. It's that I didn't know what to expect. Well, I say that, I thought I was expecting just a Mario Kart clone, and then immediately we're met with an adventure mode. I'm like, well, hold on, what's this? I wasn't expecting this game to have any kind of story or hub or collectathon or anything like that. So right from the off, my first impression was like, okay, wow, this has a little bit more depth maybe than your average kart racer.
Yeah. Well, it does actually. Like that's probably one of the positive points I'd talk about is that the fact that the game does kind of take that Mario Kart formula and expands on it a little bit, but in doing so, it also narrows like the balloons, which are your items. It narrows like how many things you can do with it because you only get the 4 types of balloons, and so I think the thing about this is, where it does good, it always takes something away that was already done better.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
I didn't have that comparison, I guess, where I'm maybe not as familiar with Mario Kart. I mean, Sam, how do you feel about this adventure mode? It brings a bit more to the table, I think.
It does. It's unique in that, like, especially at the time, we didn't have like dime a dozen kart racers like we ended up with, but this was like a fun twist on that formula of Mario Kart, where Mario Kart is very much, you jump in, you can play single player mode for circuits, but really like the multiplayer is where it's at. This game is, yeah, there's multiplayer, but you really the story mode is really like kind of the main event for this game. You can play the circuits, you can play the trophy races, you can hop in and play individual races or do multiplayer. But I really thought that the adventure mode brought a lot to this. Like I said, it's basically like this. I think of this in the same kind of vein as Mario 64, where you had that central hub world, and then you kind of progress through the game and can do lots of different races, and there's kind of a point to it. Like, you're progressing through the game that way, but there's also that hub world that you can just kind of rip around in.
That's a good comparison, actually, because, as you progress through the game, you do collect these balloons. And it's almost, I guess, kind of synonymous with the stars that you need to progress through Mario 64. So there is that sense of, I guess, achievement and, like, unlocking further levels and just all of that stuff that I was not expecting. Like, when I fired this up and I was not immediately in a race, I was like, well, hang on, where the fuck am I? Where do I go? It's just like, oh, okay, there are worlds I can unlock. There are things I can collect. I was just like, okay, let's go. See, I'm not the biggest lover of kart races to begin with.
Yeah, neither am I.
Well, exactly. So just having a little bit extra to play around with, I just thought, well, that's kind of cool for somebody who, maybe gets a bit bored with just your bog standard, pick a car, pick a circuit, pick a character, and off you go.
Yeah.
I almost turned the game off permanently when I couldn't find the fifth balloon. Until Sam told me I could switch into an airplane.
We both had that. We both had that problem.
Fuck.
There is a weird, like, an awkward, and I don't see it anymore, because it's like I've played the game so many times. Like, within like 5 minutes of me turning it on, I had collected all 4 balloons from the hub world and was like off and rolling, so I didn't have that problem. But yeah, it's like there are. And that encourages you to explore a little bit, because right off the bat, like, the way that you're facing when you enter this hub world in adventure mode is like you're kind of in the middle of everything, and right off to your right a little bit is the first door that has the one balloon on it, and you go through there, and that's kind of your first world. But you do have kind of free reign, especially if you change vehicles to the plane or the hovercraft. You can really explore the whole island, and there are hidden balloons, and that's how you're able to locate the other worlds where you can do your races. And there's the what is it, like the dragon forest or whatever is actually hidden behind a waterfall, so there's that. I mean, not everything is just kind of handed
behind
to
a
you.
waterfall.
Yeah, and it's I don't know, I think it's kind of the sort of thing that seems frustrating to us now, but as kids, what else are you going to do? Like, you would literally just be dicking around in the hub world, just looking for stuff and poking into every corner. It's just, that's how we beat Mario 64. That's how we got all 120 stars. You just keep at it until you find everything. I mean, yeah, it's not exactly telegraphed, but I haven't really got a problem with it, except, my stupid 41-year-old brain just could not figure out where to find this last balloon so I could open up like the second level.
Right.
So I too went crying to Sam about it, and after that I was all right.
I mean, as a kid, there would definitely be times it's like you got nothing else to do. You might just flip this on and just kind of cruise around, just drive around.
Yeah.
Or if you're stuck on, a race that you can't beat or whatever, a boss, which there are many of those, you can't beat it. You might just
oh my God,
pop out and drive around a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And you get frustrated with a race and just like, you know what, I'm just gonna do donuts in the hub world and just see what happens.
Yep.
I got a question for you guys. What the fuck's the point of the bananas?
If you get 10, you do speed up a little bit, and it's noticeable. When you get that 10th
So,
balloon, you get a speed
okay,
boost.
so it's like the Mario Kart coins.
Yeah, your top speed goes up.
You see, I was never good enough to get 10 bananas. I was never actually, like, full disclosure, all the cards on the table. So, as I said earlier on, if you put in the code on the menu screen, joint venture, it will actually allow you to have a second player in the adventure mode with you, which is kind of neat because, for the majority of for all of the just standard races, it goes into a split screen and you both do the race. For the boss fights, it kind of gives you a you try. You take it in turns to try and beat the boss, which is a really cool feature, and I appreciate that it's in there. They didn't have to put that in there. I was dragged, kicking and screaming. I was saved. I was carried by my darling wife, who is by far and away not just the better racing game player, but also, I would argue, and don't let her hear me say this, the better N64 gamer in general. Don't ever ask her about GoldenEye. It's embarrassing. But yeah,
I'm gonna ask her about GoldenEye now.
yeah, I bet you will. But yeah, so when you play these races 2-player, like whoever wins the race gets you through, basically. And
Oh, that's cool.
I rarely got out of 6th place on this game. Like, Jesus Christ.
It does have that, like, if you don't get off to a good start, that is maybe a criticism. I'll level this criticism at this game. If you don't get off to a hot start, you might as well just pause and restart the race, honestly. Like, there are points, yeah, especially the bosses. Like, if I didn't get, like, you start with a boost. If you time your accelerator properly, you get a boost, and there's 2 different boosts. There's a standard kind of orange flame, and there's a blue flame, and you get the blue flame that's a little bit extra. So, like, I would be, if I didn't start out with a blue flame boost and get right into first, then I might consider, depending on what race it was, I might consider, like, pausing and restarting the race.
Okay, explain. Because I was aware of the boost, and I was aware of the fact that there is a very particular point during the countdown where you can activate this boost. I was not aware of the fact that there were 2 different boosts. All I was aware of is that sometimes it worked, and sometimes that boost flickered for like a second and then just smoked out, and I would get fucking nowhere. Like, what do you mean by this, Sam?
Yeah, so there's, like, and it's not as easy as Mario Kart, unfortunately, because, like, the Mario Kart, when you want to get the good boost, you time it so that when the Lakitu or Lakitu or whatever, when his hand is going up after you get that second beep, that's when you hit the accelerator. So that's very easy to time. There's like a audio and a visual cue to it.
I was also not aware of that, but go on.
Oh.
Yeah, that's staple of the Mario Kart games.
Yeah. Well, with Diddy Kong Racing, like, you really have to, it's like really just kind of a feel. Like, it's a split second before they say go. It's like they say get ready, and then if you hit it too early, you get that orange flame. But if you wait, like, for like a very split second before they say go, and you hit that accelerator, that's where you get that blue flame. It's more of a feel and like a practice thing than anything, which isn't great because, there's really not a visual cue for it. It's just like, oh, it's, you gotta just wait for it and do it by feel, kind of, more than, yeah.
It's I suppose more than most kart racers, this kind of, because it is very unforgiving, and it does reward your familiarity with the game, because that's the sort of thing that you would only know having played this game to death and just putting in the reps and gotten good at it, which I definitely was not. But that's I mean, I don't know if that's halfway to bullshit or actually very, very clever. It's just that I can't decide.
Well, I think what I appreciated about this game over Mario Kart, if I'm gonna give a point to Diddy Kong Racing over Mario Kart, some of what I like about Diddy Kong Racing is there really isn't a lot of rubber banding. If you're skilled at this game, you can pretty much just destroy the competition, and that's fine. Like, if you know your way around the races and you know how to hit the boosts and all that kind of stuff, you know any shortcuts, like they're not catching you. Which is like,
See, I've noticed that. That is actually very true. In the regular races, I have absolutely no problem coming in first.
yeah,
It's those silver coin races where you have to go off the line to get the stupid silver coins, or the boss ones where you have to be like picture perfect in order to beat them.
yeah,
Oh God,
But
100%.
regular races are fine.
yeah. Those. Yeah, I mean, we haven't
See-
even gotten too far into the boss races, but they're tough. That
I-
is one where it's like, if I'm not getting a boost, like a blue boost and like a perfect first turn, I am definitely gonna shut it off and or just like restart the race and just try again. And maybe that's
I
not a
am
good
so
mechanic.
bad at these games. I am so, because Brian's sitting over there just saying, oh, the regular races I was doing fine. It's just like I was not. I am just so bad at like racing games are. Racing games and sports games. I know Sam, just recently had a 9-bit banter box about his most and least favorite genres of games, and sports games and racing games are right down there at the bottom for me. I'm just no good
Yeah.
at them, and I find them stressful, and this was no exception. But that's not the fault of the game. That's a me thing, and I just could not. I mean, every once in a while I do all right, and maybe once in a very blue moon I would actually win a race, but I mean, full disclosure, we did not get all the way through this game. Like we got past the octopus, and I nearly passed out doing it. And I think the next level we were just like, nah, you know what, we're good.
that octopus, especially the second time, is such a fuck face. It's ridiculous. It's like, just like, so that is something that I thought was neat and unique about this game, is that not only is there an adventure mode where it's kind of like a 3D platformer meets racing game, but there are boss fights, which is really kind of strange for a racing game. I can't think of any other examples of a game that has kind of a boss fight like this, where it's just
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Well, I mean, like in this game, like
because you have to
like a mascot kart racer.
in this game.
you've got like a creature.
Need for Speed's a mascot kart racer. They have street racers.
Okay. Well,
They're cute.
Well, then maybe we should cover one of those Need for Speeds at some point. But yeah, I mean, you get this, like, I mean, it looks like a boss. It's like, this one's a giant octopus. The first one's a triceratops.
They're bosses for sure.
There's the walrus, and then the fucking dragon is such a dick. And then as obviously as you go along, they get harder, but you also have to beat them twice, because you've got to beat the 4 races in whatever world you're in. Then you fight or race the boss, and then they make you do these silver coin challenges, and fuck, some of those are so hard. Like some of the placement of the coins is just such a fuck you. Like, if
And you have to get first on
and
the.
you have to get all 8 coins and win, and then it's like, oh, and by the way, if you're missing one of the coins, it's like off in this corner, or you gotta like, there are some where you just have to like go kind of a little off course, and then like full tilt, and then just like hit the brakes as soon as you get to that coin, and
in the
jerk the
early
wheel.
game, there's one where you have to go through like you go over this cliff, and it leads into like a pond, and the pond water slows you the fuck down.
yeah.
So you end up like losing all your momentum, and then the only way to get that one is to hit it and then slide out of the path of the pond
Yes.
just in time and go around the friggin' bridge.
Yeah.
There is just
So-
no way.
It's so shitty. And I will tell you, I didn't do it this time, but I've done it as a wee lad. When you beat this game, you unlock Adventure 2, and Adventure 2 is just mirror courses. So it does kind of take a cue from Mario Kart, where they have like the mirror races. All the races are backwards, including the boss battles. And then the 8 silver coins are actually not only mirrored, but the silver coins are in different locations on Adventure 2. And they're fucking harder.
And
fuck
Yeah.
that.
have you done this?
Yes.
You are a fucking beast. That is
Yeah.
unreal. Like, for somebody who got halfway through this game and had to tap it, I can't even imagine. And these coin challenges are not only very unforgiving, but the other racers do not hang around. Like, they are all playing to win. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even like rubber banding. It's just they are better than you in every sense of the word. So, like, you have to be on point. They just take no. They do not slack.
No quarter.
No quarter. Thank you, Brian.
Right. Yeah, they the trophy races. So that's another aspect of the game where like you beat the world and then they unlock, you can do a trophy race, which is just a circuit of 4. And it's just a standard race, but you don't get to like go out and change your character or anything. So you have to just do them all in a row. And yeah, those are tough because there is a marked difference between the just kind of the standard race and the trophy race. The racers are much, much better. And so it's much harder to, you don't have to get first in every single one of them, but it's tough to, yeah. And we didn't really talk about the characters yet. Each of the characters, just like Mario Kart, have very different skills and abilities, like not skills,
different.
but acceleration, like your tinier characters have great acceleration but lower top speed, and then your heavies, like your Crunch and your Banjo, have higher top speed but lower acceleration, but they're better on the hovercraft because they're heavier, so then you can take your turns better.
Now that is a difference I did notice, and let's get into that. Let's get into the characters.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got Diddy Kong, you've got Banjo, you've got Conker, who are characters that appeared in this game first before they actually had games of their own, which I thought was really quite interesting. You've got Crunch, Tip Top, Timber the Tiger, Bumper the Badger, and Pipsy the Mouse, and that's just your base racers. Like, who did you guys like? Brian?
I started with Diddy Kong, and then currently I'm playing with Conker now. I've switched to the turtle since we started talking.
Oh, you're playing it now?
Because I am playing the game while we talk, yeah.
Oh, that's
Brian's
a good
gonna
idea.
get.
Although I can't figure out where to go.
Brian's going to get angrier and angrier. By the end of the episode, he's going to be fuming.
Well, I got 8 balloons on this save file, and I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. Oh, I remember. I have to go back to door 1 and finish those silver coin fights.
Oh, fuck those silver coins.
Oh,
I started with Diddy Kong, as you do. It's just... He's the guy, right? He's the main guy. It's like starting with Mario in a Mario Kart game, if you don't know any better. And, I got on with him all right, and then I tried... Who's the turtle? Tip Top.
Tip
Because I
Top.
figured, you know what, I am sucking at this game. Maybe Tip Top, as a smaller character, will be a bit more like your Toad. And just kind of give you that ability to cheese a little. But I did find that these characters are noticeably different. And like you said, I mean, to swing back to the example of the octopus, and we will talk about the bosses, but, I tried so many different characters, and it's only when I got to... was it the Badger? Bumper?
Oh, Bumper, yeah.
I was just like, oh, wow, like, I can actually handle the hovercraft with this guy. And that's how I won that race. So it is very interesting that not only do their skills vary, but they also vary across the different vehicles.
Yep.
Which is kind of a neat touch.
Actually, if you... another tip for the hovercraft, if you want to actually do a tighter turn, you can hit that shoulder button, the right shoulder, to hop up, and then you can turn that way. So that's a good way to like get a tighter turn in the hovercraft. Otherwise, you're kind of beholden to like the waves a little bit. Like, Wave Racer is another game that came out around this time, and like you do have to fight against some of the current a little bit. Which I think they did a really good job of doing. The hovercraft races, I think of all 3 kind of like little, I guess, race modes. There's the plane, the car, and the hovercraft. I think the hovercraft ones are the hardest.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah, they don't handle super well.
No,
they don't.
it takes a lot of practice to get decent at the hovercraft.
I think that's, ironically enough, kind of the ones that I did the best at. Because I did sort of get the hang of that, as you say, that hop, but also add in that brake. Because, you get the ability to, you can not only drift, but if you drift with the brake on as well, like you get a slightly tighter drift. And I found that invaluable for the hovercraft races. And for some reason, it just kind of gelled with me. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are tricky. I mean, make no mistake, we must have spent about 50 tries on that octopus because that is some absolute bullshit. Um, but it's nice, like they didn't have to have three different types of vehicle, and I think it gives this game a really decent amount of variation. Um, I would have to sort of rate it. Maybe I like the hovercraft the most, the car in the middle, and the plane last. But again, that's hardly the game's fault. I couldn't wrap my head around the plane.
The plane too is another one where you have to use that right shoulder because it allows you to kind of do a tighter bank turn, and a lot of times with the plane, um, especially in the silver coin challenges that involve the plane, there's the plane is used the least. I think there's a couple of boss fights with the plane, and then a handful of races, but I think they really kind of underutilize the plane. Um, you can take a tighter turn by braking and using that right shoulder button to kind of take a sharper turn.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to contradict Alan. I actually like the plane. It's the hover thing I don't like, and I find the plane handles quite well. Honestly, I think it's probably the best of the three.
Oh, I'm not disputing that it handles well. What I am saying is that I cannot handle it well. That is again,
Oh.
again, as with most of my gripes with this game, it is an Alan problem because I am just not good at racing games. Like, yeah, I mean, as far as I've played other games with planes and shit and like that, and this is, I think, control wise across the board, it's pretty fucking solid.
Yeah.
But I just think with a game like this, where there's three different options, there is going to be something that you are best at, and there is going to be something that you are worst at, and that I think just adds a little bit of extra spice to the soup that is this game.
Yeah. Wait,
That's true.
did we actually
Yeah.
establish who our kind of mains are? Like, who did you like the best? I don't know if we ever really answered those
I
questions.
spent the most time with Diddy Kong, so
Okay.
I'm gonna just default to him.
I
All
think
right.
I'm currently playing with the turtle though, and he's impressing
fucking
me.
love
I'm
the
actually
turtle.
doing way better with
I
it.
Yeah.
honestly I did use that turtle quite a lot and found that I got on. I tell you who I didn't get on with. What the fuck is up with that mouse? By the way,
Oh, you didn't like Tipsy? Or, right? Was it Pipsy? Pipsy, not Tipsy.
that
Titsy.
listen,
Titsy.
maybe it's because I tried to use her or him or whatever her in the hovercraft races, but there was absolutely zero sticking power. Like
No.
you take a turn and you are literally fishtailing around the entire map, and I just could not. And the thing is, you sort of have to quit out, choose a new character, go back in, and where we're leapfrogging each other on these bosses, it's just like if your character isn't working for you, but your wife maybe thinks she's got a chance of winning this thing, you just have to keep trading back to this awful character and just trying to make it work. And I just
Yeah.
I could not with that mouse.
I would say Pipsy is probably the worst on the hovercraft because she's the lightest, so she's just gonna get like friggin' thrown around on the water.
Sure.
I'd say just in general for the most part, because most of the races are either car or plane. Well, I wouldn't say most of the races are car or plane. I would just say like if you have a character that's good in the car and the plane, you're good for most of the game, and I would say that's tip top for me. Otherwise, I would say maybe uh, Timber, the little tiger. He's fine.
Yes.
I would use Timber a lot when I was a kid, and then I discovered Tip Top I actually beat Wizpig with Tip Top both times. Um, there are 2 hidden characters too. So I don't know if you found those
Are
at all.
there?
Absolutely
Oh,
not. Please tell us about them,
so
Sam, because we'll
so
never
if
see them.
you yeah, if you got all of the, I think you have to beat all 4 of the kind of primary worlds, and before you fight Wizpig for the first time, if you beat all 4 primary worlds and beat all of the trophy races, um, then one of the frogs in front of the Wizpig kind of statue has a rooster head, and if you run it over, you unlock Drumstick. And Drumstick is more of a like Crunch or Banjo type character. He has a faster top speed, but he's heavy. So he can be useful, but he's a little hard to control because he slides around. The absolute best character all around, fastest speed, and then kind of best handling mix is TT, who's the little clock dude that is in all the worlds that kind of houses all of your track
Oh,
times.
yeah, I see him walking around.
Yeah, you can race as TT, but unlocking TT is ridiculous. I tried to like kind of start to dabble with it this playthrough, and I was just like, no, fuck it. I don't have that kind of time. I've unlocked him before, and he's fantastic. He's absolutely the best character to use for the final boss. He actually makes it easy. He's great in the plane, but you have to toggle time trial, so you have to do kind of like just the single player time trial mode. Each race you have to get below a certain time to actually just unlock TT's ghost, and then you have to beat TT's time, which in some of these races are fucking ridiculous. Like you have to have like an absolutely perfect time trial, hit all the zips perfectly, and some of them there's just a trick to. But I've done it before, but I don't think I'll ever do it again. It's absolutely insane. But he is such a good character. It's one of those things where like by the time you unlock him, it's like, well, what the fuck do I need him for? I've already like beaten the game.
I was going to ask, like, is this something that you can only unlock after the final boss, or is it? Can you actually use him to finish the game? I suppose getting him is probably harder than beating the final boss, though. No.
It is an undertaking. And actually, I guess like if you want to go through Adventure 2 and have TT, like that's, I mean, you only have to beat his track records on the first adventure. But there is a 5th, and I can't remember if you have to beat the 5th. There's a 5th space world that you unlock only after you basically quote unquote beat the game, and there's like a hidden 5th world and another Wizpig fight. But that 5th world is really fun. It's like the outer space land or whatever. So there's 4 more races, 4 more coin challenges, and they set it up so that if you beat Wizpig and you get all the gold balloons, and then you find you have to beat all the trophy races, and that's how you unlock the last world, and then you go up there. The only way to get into the first race is to have gotten every single balloon to that point. And then from then on, you have to progress in order to get every single balloon. So there's like 37 balloons in the base game, and so if you manage to get to the space world, the first race is a 37 balloon door.
Wow. And I mean, fair play, because it sounds like not only did they put in the effort to make this more than just your average kart racer, like they crammed a lot of stuff. There is a lot of gameplay, plenty of hours to master this game to a level that you can see all of it. So you were definitely getting your money's worth with this one.
You know what the problem with the game is, though?
Please.
Is when you do those boss fights, they become really, really hard. Like I got the coins from, like I said, as that 8 balloons. So I got all the coins from the second part of the races on the Triceratops, and I have to race the stupid Triceratops again, and he's faster than me.
Yeah, he's harder.
Like I literally can't keep up with him.
Okay, now we've been dancing around this for a while. Like let's talk about these bosses, because what in the hell did I do wrong to deserve such a punishment? Because these bosses, I swear these guys cheat. There is some
It's
absolute
not even
bullshit.
fun.
Do you know what? So the first one is the Triceratops, which right from the off, you know, you can't get round him so much as get stamped on and lose time. And they just go, don't they? And the less said about that octopus, the better, because I swear that thing was herring off the start line before the count had finished. And it just
Yes.
lays mines and there's logs in the way. And it's just like, you know what? How can we make this as difficult as humanly possible?
You know, I would prefer rubber banding, where if you fucked up, then it, punished you by letting them pass you, but you still got to be slightly faster than the boss. Otherwise, you're basically need to be perfect. And on the Triceratops, there's a shortcut
Yes.
halfway up the mountain, and
it.
you're supposed to be able to. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be able to make it easier for you to get to the top of the mountain. The only problem is when you take the shortcut, you lose all your speed and momentum, and you're going uphill, so he doesn't accelerate.
It's
Where the
tough to
fuck was
pull
the
off, but you
shortcut?
need to get in there with a blue balloon. That's the trick. But then you also can't hit that blue balloon too quickly, because if you hit it too far up the little hill, you can shoot yourself off the side.
Oh, no.
Well, that's what keeps happening to me is I get up to the top of that thing and I try to slide my way through, and then I end up just falling off.
I never even found a shortcut in that level.
It's behind a bush. You have to take a hard turn.
I had to raw dog that, and again, beyond being stamped, and it's like you said earlier on, like you need a picture perfect start to even have a chance, because you need to get in front of these bosses right from the off, or else it's almost impossible to catch up to them.
And they put the blue balloons behind pillars that if you don't slide perfectly, I almost beat him. Fuck you.
So
But yeah,
part of the Triceratops is if you can just hold your own enough against it, you can kind of squirt past him at some point when you get closer to the top, because he does slow down significantly as the loops get tighter. Because
I think that's the only way I beat him. And I'll be honest, I thought the game glitched. Cause
it's always going to be close. Yeah.
I literally just, as you said that, got to the top of the spiral, and I noticed he slowed down. So now I'm not going to take the shortcut. And I'm just going to see if I can't.
Yeah, the shortcut actually kind of sucks. It makes it more difficult. It's hard to pull off.
And again, this is the same trouble that I had with that octopus. It's just like, if you're behind him, he's throwing out mines that are almost impossible to dodge, especially for somebody as bad as I am. And there are these logs in the way, because why the fuck not? I'm already having a bad day. Why not just put these logs in the way that are just going to slow me right down? And if he gets any kind of lead, unless you're particularly good, and we didn't talk about the weapons, like you can grab these missiles and you can stack them, which I thought was pretty cool.
Can you?
Yeah,
yep.
if you get
a second balloon, there's a heat seeker.
That's right, and that's what I was
using.
Can you
stack the boosts?
I believe so.
You can, yeah. There's the third boost. I actually don't like the third boost, because it sends you so crazy. You can launch yourself off most courses. It's just not useful. I typically will use my boost right away, because I just want to get a little quick boost.
Just get a little jump. And that's the same for the missiles as well, because when you get the third stack, you basically just got 10 you can just rapid fire, but they don't seek. So I kind of found that having the 2 balloons stacked gave me that heat seeker, which meant I could pretty much just let it off, because it is so hard to line up one of these bosses without that heat seeker.
Yeah, this is making sense now, because I thought the missiles were heat seekers, and then I haven't been able to reproduce it. Well, okay, so I'm going to try stacking some missiles and shoot this Triceratops up the old keister.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say about those.
Because I can't progress. Yeah, but I can't progress right now unless I beat this fuckface.
Yeah.
Right.
And they slow down briefly, but they get back to it pretty quick. Yeah. So you've got to pick your spot.
And that's what I was going to say about the items too, is I know the items are a little underwhelming, but at least because the different colored balloons do specific things. So the red ones are always missiles, the blue ones are always boosts, the green ones are always the kind of course hazard. So it starts out with an oil slick, and then upgrades to a mine, I think, and then a bubble, and the bubble fucking sucks. But that's the cool thing about it is like you can plan out like, okay, strategize when you're going around, like I want boosts, I want, I want to go get this missile so I can, hit this guy in front of me. In Mario Kart, like the items are random and dependent largely on your position in the race. Whereas Diddy Kong Racing, like if you want something and it's available on the course, you can go get it. There's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, and you can kind of strategize within a limited sort of scope. But you think I need a heat seeker. I'm not hitting this guy. I need to stack these. So it's nice to have the option to do that. And like you said, maybe a triple boost is not what you need right now because you're near a cliff. So you have to kind of think about how you use. Do you want to use that boost, or do you want to wait until you can find another one and double it up? There's a good amount of planning.
The triple boost launches you so far that it's just like it'll launch you into a corner. It'll just like it's just not
I'll do that by myself. I don't need a boost for that.
Right.
Okay, well that was pointless.
But yeah, again with this fucking octopus, man, like the only way I beat him, sheer luck, was that I had a good enough start. I guess I must have hit this boost that I didn't know about, and I got ahead of him. And once you're ahead of him, he's not dropping mines. So, you've got a relatively clear shot. And all I had to worry about was, like, not fucking up and letting him pass me. And let me tell you, like, I was holding my breath. My wife was not saying a fucking word until I crossed that finish line. And when we got past it, like, just like I did not say anything because I did not want to, like, psych you out or anything like that. And it was a beautiful moment. I don't think I'll ever do it again, but...
Yeah, and you beat the first version of the octopus. The second one, he drops... so the first one, he drops those mines, and he's pretty quick. The second time around, he's a little bit faster, and he drops 3 bubbles at once.
Well, the thing is, Sam, if I never race him, then I can never lose to him.
That's right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to take my dub, and I'm going to go home. Thank you very much.
I think the easiest one, or the one that I had the easiest time with, was the Walrus, because it is just kind of a more or less like a straight course. There are a couple of like tight turns, but if you can get ahead of him, you can kind of stay ahead of him, and that one's not too bad. The Dragon, he kind of sucks. It's a flying course. There's a lot of like different canyons and like windmills and stuff, and it can be kind of tough to tell where you can turn sometimes. And he's also dropping flames. So he'll just like, kind of like the bubbles, he'll drop multiple flames behind him. And then if you run into one, obviously you fall out of the sky and have to restart. And when you have to restart in the plane, it sucks because you'll fall to the ground.
Sorry.
And then have to start over again.
I don't know if Brian just beat a race or just got a hernia.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
I beat him, but the fucker caught up to me at the end, and then he has that slowdown. But I beat him only because he ran over me 3 times and pushed me across the line ahead of him.
Oh well, take it.
It sucks when they're right on your tail, like basically
It's
like
so
up your
tense.
ass, and you can kind of see like a transparent version of them behind you if they're close enough, and it makes it really hard to see where you are.
Fuck.
Oh,
Okay, that I'm taking points off for the boss races. They are just a bunch of bullshit.
I like them in principle. I just don't know that they necessarily needed to be that difficult.
No, like I said, if you put the rubber banding on the bosses that they kept close, but you would really have to screw up to lose to them, it would be a little bit more fun. This is where rubber banding could actually be a good thing. It adds the challenge of it, of you having to drive great, but it doesn't punish you if you make one mistake, where this one, they're already ahead of you at the start line if you don't get that boost. And as they're ahead of you, they trigger everything that is going to fall or land on the course, and they don't get affected by it.
No.
Like, there was a boulder that came down that he never once got stopped by, but that boulder would crush me and destroy my race.
Oh, absolutely.
It's overly difficult for no reason.
It is a bit much. In the Dragon, and I think you said the octopus, although I didn't notice it as much with the octopus, the dragon just takes a fucking running start before it, like a very obvious running start before the thing says go, and it's just like, you're an absolute fuckface.
I
Even
know,
with a
right?
blue boost, you're behind. It's basically like the game is saying you will start in second place and have to claw your way past. There is no like boosting past it.
Sure. And you know, it is frustrating. I don't know if I can necessarily agree with taking a point off for it, though. Like, is it needlessly difficult? Maybe. But I can't blame a game for establishing its difficulty and just being consistent with it. I mean,
But
did it need...
it's not consistent though, because the races are fine. The races, you have good
Well,
races.
they're fine for
You
you,
get
Brian.
these-
They weren't for me.
Yeah. Well, but then you get the bosses there and the ramps the difficulty up. And let's take a look at the graphics. This wasn't designed for the hardcore gamer. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, no, and that's something I will agree to. Like, I can see this. You know, you look at this game, and you think Diddy Kong. You know, there's animal mascots, and it all looks quite cute. It's very colourful, and just like
Bright colors. It's nice to
I've
look
played
at.
Mario Kart. You know, this is probably just going to be a little bit of a Mario Kart game, and it's just like, oh, buddy, like this game. Oh, it just takes no prisoners.
Yeah, this game has more teeth than a cutesy mascot racer needs to have. Like the way that it's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Like that, it's skinned in like the cutesiest way possible, but then it just like absolutely fucking bends you over when you play it.
Eats your soul. It's brutal. But I mean,
oh man.
What I want to, Brian,
Yes, sir.
control-wise, I want you to sound off about the controls, because I'm no good with them. I don't think they're all that bad, though. I mean, what's your take on it?
Well, here's the thing, is I hooked up the N64 controller for the Switch to my computer, but the buttons were mapped all wrong. So after spending way too long trying to figure out how to properly map them, I ended up switching to my 8-bit Do controller, and the 8-bit Do controller actually makes this game playable, like quite playable. I don't mind the driving, and the fact that it does respect kind of the rules of racing, where you have the shortest line to get the fastest time. It really helps if you have any sort of knowledge of racing, and I'm not the best racer in the world, but at the same time I do understand those basic principles. And it makes this game very, very playable. And this is why I'm able to, I guess, win the races would be the thing that words happening. Sorry, I'm in the middle of a race right now. But
Excuse me.
But yeah, anyways, the controls are probably a shining part of this game.
Yeah, see, I agree. Like my own deficiencies aside, like I think it controls really tightly. And at first I thought I was going to blame the game for how shit I was at it, but a lot of it does come down to finding the character that you're best with and that you can control. Like, it gives you all the tools. Like, you have a drift, you can tighten that drift up, you have the hop with the hovercraft, it all just comes down to, again, practice, finding a character that you just gel with. And I think any and all fuck-ups in this game are genuinely your own fault.
Yeah. I can't argue with that at all. Like, the controls are very, very tight. The hovercraft handles like a fucking piece of crap, but, it's not the fault of the game. It's how a hovercraft handles. There's nothing underneath it. It's at the whims of the little pocket of air that it sits on top of.
Yep.
It would
That's
be
why
weird.
So-
It would be weird if it handled well, right? Given what it is.
That's why the heavies are the best with that hovercraft, because they weigh down that's something that I thought was like really interesting and unique about this game that I didn't think of at the time, kind of took for granted. Now I'm thinking about it, it's like, wow, they really programmed in kind of like a weight class that's heavy enough to handle a hovercraft, and then the physics behind it, like it is pretty cool.
It is, yeah, absolutely. And you won't know it unless you just experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, is a kind of another way this game adds depth, adds length, because you could bash your head against any one of these races and you just think, you know what, well, maybe I'll just try another character and see what happens. And it gives you a lot. It gives you a lot to work with. You know, it's not impossible, even if it seems it sometimes. You just need to almost crack the code and solve the puzzle of this race that you're on, and just like find your main. Because I don't think it's the kind of game that benefits from just having one main. Like it's good to explore and just kind of see what works for any given situation.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be nice if you could switch characters per race.
Yeah, I would like. I would have
Agreed.
liked a just kind of, if there's like a quality of life improvement that I know it's on the DS, and I've not played that one, but I would like to try it sometime. But a quality of life improvement would have been like character switching on the fly instead of having to like completely quit out of the game and go back in from the start.
It seems like something that you could easily just put in as another option on when you're talking to, was it Taj?
Yeah, even if you have to go out there, and you don't have to completely reset.
Well, considering it's not really a circuit thing. Like, it's not like Mario Kart where you're doing like a series of races on circuits. This one is, you know, kind of open world where every race, you know, presents something different in the adventure mode. So yeah, being able to swap out a team or something like that is kind of something that would have been really handy in this game, because I just did the hovercart race, and yeah, the thing was sliding all over the place, so to the point I had to actually stop and think about what I was doing.
Yeah. Sorry,
Well said, Brian.
No
problem.
My brain just like completely disappeared at that point.
I've been waiting to talk about Wizpig, and I don't think either of you quite made it to Wizpig.
No, you're on your own on that one.
I'm just going to take a little nap.
Yeah, it is. If you take any, Wizpig is by and far harder than any of the other bosses, and that includes the fucking dragon and the octopus. As much as they're fuckers, I needed to.
No, I got a question before you start.
Yeah.
Why Wizpig? Why not King K. Rool?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Crunch is a Kremling, so they've got that in there, but I don't know, maybe they were just trying to go off on their own and do their own thing.
I think this was kind of I think this is kind of a thing that happened with like the sidekicks getting their own game. Like you see it a lot in like, the Sonic franchise, where they invent new bosses for the sidekick. Like Tails had a couple of games, a couple of spin-offs, and there's just literally no Robotnik in any of them. I think it's just trying to establish its own identity.
Well, the cool thing is like
that makes sense.
In this game, they created like a stable of characters that they could have. I mean, they did draw off of it. You know, Banjo got a spin-off platformer. Conker, got Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is like a really fucking weird spin-off of a game like this. But you know, it's almost like they've got this pool of characters now, and some of them only appeared in this. But you know, who knows? Maybe there were other games that they had lined up for this kind of like Diddy Kong universe. I would have liked to have seen more games or more different styles of games with some of these characters. I thought it would have been fun, but anyways, Wizpig.
Can we just call it the Diddyverse from now on?
No, we're not going to do that. So when you beat, I mean, you do have to. This game really does encourage you to complete it as much as possible before getting through, because there are very few balloons that you wouldn't be able to get and unlock the final boss, because you have to beat all 4 bosses both times, and then you unlock the kind of that statue that's in the middle opens its mouth and you get in the plane, you can fly in. And the first Wizpig race is a car race that's 3 laps, no items, but there are the zips on the road. But the problem is, it's like this broken course where you have to use the zips, because if you don't boost on those ground zips, you end up in the water. They basically launch you over broken parts of the road where there's water. So you have to do it perfectly. And he does catch you because he can like kind of hover and fly, but otherwise he's running. And like I think I had to use Tip Top, because I just needed the handling of Tip Top to hit all those zips and get that acceleration boost. Because he's not particularly fast. It's just that he's big, and you have to do the course perfectly 3 times in a row to kind of get ahead of them. So that one sucks. Like I hate the first Wizpig fight sucks. The second one's bad too, but like um that one's just it's particularly challenging just because it like takes what you've kind of learned in the game. Like you can rely on some of your items and stuff, or you can shoot it with a you can shoot the boss with a missile. This is the only one that I can think of in this whole game that doesn't have any items on it, and you just have to rely on your car, your skill, and the boosts that are on the course. Like that's all there is to it.
Well, that
He doesn't
sounds
even really
fucking
attack
awful,
you.
Sam.
He doesn't even really attack you. He's just hard to get around. I think I just barely beat him. Like I got ahead of him like right at the end because I hit one of those floor boosts right at the right time to get past him, and I took my win and I moved on. But then you do get actually like the end credits and end cutscene when you beat him the first time. But there is kind of like this, oh, he flew away in a spaceship. Where's he going? And if you've beaten all the trophy races and you restart the game and go, there's like a little billboard where it shows your trophies. If you drive past it, the lighthouse that's on the beach turns into a rocket ship and flies off, and it unlocks another world. And there's 4 more races that are space themed, which are really cool. There's no mid boss. It's just like you beat the 4 races, and then you can do the silver coin challenges. And then once you got all of those balloons, it's basically every gold balloon in the game. Then you can fight Wizpig again, and it's a plane course, and it's 3 tracks or 3 laps, and it's just like it's ridiculous. There's like fucking lasers flying around. There's like laser beams that are like across that you can like electric beams that you can hit if you don't fly above or below them. There's like giant like boulders that are just kind of like floating around. And he's not particularly fast, and he does kind of take the long way around. So this is another one where you don't need that perfect boost and first turn to get ahead of him. He will catch you, and you will kind of go back and forth a little bit. So actually, I don't hate the final boss. It is kind of cool how, if you're good enough and you kind of like keep at it, you can catch him at the end. It's not like this, oh, I didn't get a good first boost, so I'm fucked. But it's hard.
I don't think I've ever been happier to tap out of a game. Just hearing you describe all of that. And you know me, like, I'm the sort of person, like, I take it personally when I can't beat a game. But this one, I just think, you know what? I know my limits. I don't think this is a game I'm ever going to beat. And I mean... Obviously, hearing about the end of the game is awesome, seeing as I never see it. I love the idea that, you effectively complete the game, you beat Wizpig. And this game, the story such as it is, I guess, what's it, Timber the Tiger, his parents just fucking up and left him and went on holiday and said, well, you're in charge of this island now. And, well, great, that's awesome parenting. And
I'm going to invite a bunch of people over and have kart racing.
Yeah, it's basically like he's having a house party.
Yeah, and then Wizpig crashes and decides to just try and take over the island, and they've got to race all of the guardians and beat them. And I like the fact that you get to the end of the game and he basically kick him off the planet and he goes back to his own world. And then Diddy wants the smoke so bad that he's just like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to follow this guy home and humiliate him again. And it's just like,
yeah.
I mean, you didn't have to do that. I mean, you're in it for the love of the game at this point.
No, I'm gonna get in this lighthouse rocket ship and go fucking kick his ass in his own house.
It's just like, you know what? And another thing. That's just okay, why not?
I will say
the fact that this game has a story at all is kind of impressive. I mean,
yeah.
Reality is I didn't even know the story was until Alan just said it.
It is a very silly story, but for some reason it stuck with me. Like, oh, Timber's parents have I'm like, first of all, who the fuck are who's Timber, first of all?
Yeah.
So it's just also funny that it's like Diddy Kong Racing, and Diddy is like kind of the main character, I guess, but also it's not his parents' island. Why is it not Diddy Kong's island? It's Timber's island.
He can't even be the main character in his own game.
Well, I mean, I would argue that this could have been Timber's game, but he's so useless. He had to call in Diddy, and
I wonder if and I wonder if it was a late decision. Like they had always planned for this to be kind of Timber's game and Timber's story, and then they were like, well, that's not marketable. We've got Diddy Kong as a playable character right here, and it is kind of like fit into this Donkey Kong universe. So
he's like the guy.
That's the thing, though, is like these Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong games usually have ape themes. This one really doesn't, outside of the bananas.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. And I don't know. It seems like you invite somebody round to your house party, and he's just that guy who's cooler than you. And it's just like, that's a shame. And why this poor tiger?
That's why Alan's never coming over to a house party.
Oh, I'm coming over there, and don't worry, I will not show anyone up. I'll just stick on Diddy Kong Racing and just watch me like fold up into the corner and weep.
Why is a British guy crying in the corner of your house? Asked the hot girl.
Quick, get him some ribs. Sort him right out. What else is there to talk about?
Music. We didn't talk about music.
Yeah.
Really kind of decent music, I guess. It's a little like xylophony for my taste, but whatever. It fits the theme of like a cute kart racer. But one thing I did really appreciate is that the theme, like especially when you're on like the character select screen, the same theme would change kind of like instrumentation and tone based on who your cursor was over. So it's like the same basic theme, cool. But yeah, like Banjos had a banjo, and Crunches had like electric guitars, and Bumpers had that like kind of steel guitar sound because he's like a country badger and stuff like that. Like it's a neat little touch. And also some of the different, like the overworld theme was kind of the same general theme, but as you like if you go into the snow world, it's like you hear like the little jingle bells, steel drums for the water world and stuff like that. So it's just really neat that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree. I mean, I can't say that anything particularly stood out. It just seemed like kind of your usual kart racer fare. And I mean, perhaps a little more jovial and playful than the actual game itself, which is kind of a bit of misdirection there. It's just like, this is happy sounding. This is fun. Why am I getting bent over?
Right.
But it served the game well enough. I mean, not particularly memorable, but yeah, it was fine.
No. It's, I don't know, like you said, it's serviceable, but this whole game always feels like, actually a lot of Nintendo games to me feel like it's targeted at kids, but adults play it for some reason.
Well,
so that's what the music makes me feel like. Like, I know Nintendo games are targeted at kids, but maybe that's why I'm not big on the N64. Everything is too cutesy. But considering how hard this game is, it's kind of like putting a Souls-like into a Mario game.
Yeah, that's actually that's a very good comparison. I know. I mean, it's exactly what you would expect from a game that is kind of that N64 party staple. It's what you expect to hear. And I didn't play any of the actual multiplayer, but again, I can imagine like this with a bunch of friends, like playing it together. That could have been a good time.
I don't think I played a lot of this multiplayer because mostly people would just kind of gravitate towards Mario Kart. Because I think Mario Kart, for a multiplayer party game, Mario Kart is by far the more fun game than this. But this game definitely has its place in the kart racer pantheon. I really think this is like if you had like a Mount Rushmore of kart racers, you'd have Mario Kart, obviously. I think you'd have Crash Team Racing, and I think you'd have this and
Sonic Crossworlds.
It's Sonic Crossworlds. Yeah,
which
actually,
I've heard is very, very good. I mean, maybe that will be. I haven't played it yet, but maybe that will be the kart racer that finally wins me over.
Yeah, maybe.
Doubt it.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well, the funny thing is with a Sonic kart racer is like he's like the fastest fucking thing in the world, and then you like, oh, I'm gonna get in a car. Like, what? Would you just run? Like,
I will counter that. I will counter that fact with, it's a race, and he is the fastest thing in the world. if you don't put him in a car, what chance does everyone else have?
I guess so. That's his handicap. Is he has to sit in a car.
He's just being sporting.
Yeah.
I just said deja vu. I think we've had this conversation.
Yeah, it does
before.
sound like we've had this conversation. He has to sit in the car so that he can.
We've been talking together for years now. You know, I can't remember all this shit we've said. But that's my point, and I'll stick with it.
One last point on the music, and I think I'm good. Is I always appreciate, and most racing games do this when there's a soundtrack. The third lap is always like this frantic pace. The tempo goes up, and it makes you sweat a little bit.
Oh yeah, because I needed more of that.
Yep.
It's just like, I was just like, this is the most tense I've ever been in my life. Do you know what I could do with being even more tense? Please just ramp the music up, because I haven't breathed.
I think even
for the
Ridge
last
Racer
5 minutes.
did that. Yeah.
Yeah, quite possibly.
A lot of games do that.
Yeah, I like that. I always appreciate it.
It does light a fire under you. Brian, you got anything else?
No, I think I'm good to give my final thoughts.
All right. Well, why don't we'll make a Sam sandwich here, and you can start, Brian.
That's good, because nobody listens to the middle kid. All right. I'm obviously got no nostalgia for this game, so I've been trying to look at it as, somebody who played it when they're young. In the scope of today, this game is definitely not worth picking up, simply because there's much better kart racers out there now. But if you do have some nostalgia with it, then I can see why you would like this game. It's very cutesy, it's very challenging, it's got a good cast of characters, it fits into the Nintendo world perfectly. Well, not perfectly, actually. I kind of think it's disjointed from what Nintendo has presented in the past, but that's a different topic for a different day. The driving in the game's absolutely fine. It controls really, really well, even if you have something like the hovercraft that, basically is undrivable at some stages. The boss fights are where this game kind of gets it for me. The fact that I had to, race that Triceratops 6 or 7 times before I was able to squeak a accidental win out of it is just... It's what makes me put games down. I have fun when I'm challenged. I don't have fun when the challenge is unfair. And I find the boss in this really unfair. The rest of the races are absolutely fine. It's absolutely perfectly good for a racing game. Simply because... Sam said something in the Discord and I lost my train of thought. But what was I going on? Anyway, so it's perfectly good for a kart racer, and it's definitely one of the better kart racers I've played. It's just I can't get over the hump of that challenge. Not to mention, I don't like the mid-world hub. I kind of like when a kart racer just puts you on a track. Like even Mario Kart World I fell off of because, you have to drive from race to race. I like it when it's just neat, tight, pick it up, start a few races. I don't want to have to drive around, or I don't want to have to race the, elephant every time I beat a boss, or every time I start the game for his fun and enjoyment. It just, things like that take it away from me. So I think I'm going to have to score this, because I can't vamp anymore, because I'm just going to go around in circles here. But I'm going to have to score this probably a 6 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Okay, I mean, it's not the worst score that you could have given there.
It's like I said, it's a good game. If you have nostalgia for it, definitely is something I can see why young people really liked. But just, there's better one. Get Sonic Crossworlds, get Mario Kart 8, get something that was fun.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, Sam, on your marks, get set, go.
All right. Yeah, actually, Brian, you rated this higher than I would have expected for someone playing it first time in 2026. I don't think this is particularly the best game out there, like you said, not the best available, but at the time, having played this when it came out, and, I would revisit it throughout, time and have 100%ed it a couple different times before. I do love this game. Handles well. I think I think the kind of mashup between a kart racer and for kart racers being a relatively new-ish concept at that time, like you had Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64, and at that time that was kind of it. I mean, Rock and Roll Racing is kind of a mascot racer, but they weren't as common as they are now. And for this to come out and for them to say like that's what Mario Kart's doing, we're going to do something slightly different and give this an adventure mode and kind of put a little story behind it, which I mean the story is not really necessary and like we mentioned a little weird with Timber being kind of quote unquote the main character, but not really. It really, I don't know. I just what a great game. It's a game that you can pick up and play by yourself, which is not something that like Mario Kart. I think I would get bored with Mario Kart before I would get bored with this because there's always that kind of next thing to do. Like I got these gold balloons. I'm going to go to the next world and work on those. There's silver coin challenges, which are kind of unique, as difficult and pain in the ass as some of them are. Um, there's the variety of vehicles, there's the variety of characters, like you can mix and match characters and vehicles and get different outcomes or different kind of feels for your racing. um, Bosses are too difficult. I think I will agree with that. I think they're kind of a pain in the ass and they're bullshit. I don't think having to like press pause and reset a race because you didn't get like the perfect boost and turn is a really good mechanic that kind of doesn't feel great. That's definitely what I had to do with the octopus because if you start out behind the octopus, all you're gonna do is just find yourself further and further behind as you go. So that's not the greatest, but uh, the game really rewards practice and a little bit of patience, which is a really weird thing to say for a mascot racer that's dressed in this like kind of cute skin. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't have much else to say. I love this game. I would definitely play it again. I don't think I'll ever go through the whole rigmarole to get TT again, although TT is by far the best racer, which is insane. Um, I'm gonna give this a I'm gonna give it a realistic score. I think it's worth playing if you like racing games or you like kart racers or you just are a fan of the 64 and you never picked this up. I would implore you to go find it. I would like if they would add this to the Switch Online. I think this is kind of a gap in what they've got as far as what's on the NSO right now. They should have it. They have Banjo, they have GoldenEye. They should definitely have this. Um, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I love this game and it is one of my favorites. I know it backwards and forwards, but I acknowledge that it's not perfect. So I will give it a fair score of 7.5.
All right. 7.5. I was expecting higher, not going to lie.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, I was too.
I figured I'd be realistic about it. Yeah.
and realistic is exactly what I'm going to have to do. Because I am famously not a fan of racing games. I think I've made that abundantly clear. And I want to be perfectly honest with you. I did not have fun playing this game. But that's not to say I'm going to give it a bad score. Like, I have famously said in the past that I don't mind a hard game as long as it follows the rules. Like, this is not a Bubsy situation where the game was just fucking broken and that's where the difficulty stemmed from. Like, this game is hard by design and I'm just not very good at it, and that's not something I can ding the game for. Like, I mean, just to get the basics out of the way, the game looks fine. It's an N64 game, and traditionally they haven't aged incredibly well, but it's bright, it's colourful, and the soundtrack is again bright and colourful, and all of that masks a disproportionate amount of difficulty. And again, I can't fault the game for wanting to be hard. It seems like a strange design choice for something that is seemingly marketed to kids, although we have to remember these were 90s kids we're talking about, and we were a tougher breed back then. We would
Yeah, for
spend the
sure.
time to try and beat a game like this, and it can be done, as evidenced by our very own Sam, the final boss of Diddy Kong Racing himself. Um, I think it controlled very well, even if I wasn't very good at it. And I do like the sheer amount of variation, not just in the characters, but also in the different vehicles and how you can kind of mix and match to master certain courses that maybe you were having trouble with. I like that kind of exploration of abilities that just gives you so many different ways to play until you find a style that you mesh with. I will agree the bosses are straight up unfair at times, and that's sort of what killed most of my joy in this game. But again, you know, they are not impossible if you stick with it. It's just one of those games that rewards repetition, and you just have to keep banging your head against it until you beat it, which is something that I'll almost certainly never do. My main thing, though, is that adventure mode. Like, that is... one of you clever bastards mentioned earlier that it was like a platformer with racing in it, and I couldn't agree with that more. You know, I love that there's a hub world. I love that these tracks you have to unlock by getting balloons and all the rest of it. The way this game presents itself is absolutely fantastic. It's not just Mario Kart. They did try and do something a little bit different, and I kind of love it for that. So, I guess... for all my many faults, like, I can't really give this game too much shit, even if it's not for me. Like, I see its value as a kart racer. I see why it's compared to Mario 64. I think I'm just going to land where I said I would from the start of the episode, right in between you two. I'm going to give it a 7. It's a fine game if it's what you're into. You know, maybe a bit too spicy for my tastes, but... you know, it's an experience. I'll give it that. So there.
I figured out the boost.
You figured out the boost.
In the time we've been talking.
How long were we summing up for that you could figure that out? Yeah. I mean, listen, will I try it again and try and figure out all of these things? I don't know. It's there. I've got it on the N64. It's in my collection, and I'm glad I finally got around to putting it in. But yeah, it's... if I had the time, and I didn't have to play 100 other games for a podcast, maybe I could get good at this. But I don't, so I won't.
Seriously, try playing it while talking to a couple of people, because I have, like, been on fire since we've been talking.
Oh, there you go.
Made the most progress. Just...
I beat the walrus on my first try. He was dumb simple. Like, why couldn't all the bosses be like that?
Oh, there you go.
If you get the jump on the walrus...
It was in the hovercraft of all things.
Yeah, if you get the jump on the walrus, he is the easiest of the bosses, I would say.
I didn't even have to get a jump on him. I was behind him, and I just outpaced him.
Yep.
Well, now we need to keep talking for the rest of the game. Now, we're going to extend this podcast beyond the point where it should have finished, just so Brian can complete Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I'm on another silver coin challenge. 7th place on the second lap with 4 coins. I am not doing good. I'm going to quit.
Quit while you're ahead. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's what...
yeah, that's pretty much
And you know what? That's what we should do. We should quit while we're ahead. So, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks, Sam and Brian, as always, for, well, literally propping me up through this episode. Obviously, you know where to find Retrotopia because you're listening to it, but do consider all of our goodies at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia. Socials, Discord, Patreon, all of that good stuff I already spoke about in the intro. And yeah, what do we got? What do we got coming up next? Remind me.
Nothing. We quit.
Oh, is that it? Oh, that was a good run, guys.
No, we got a game that I don't hear a lot of people talking about, and I don't think I've seen a podcast on. It's 3D Game Heroes.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
a game released in North America by Atlas, but it does come from that famous company FromSoft.
Is it a hidden gem? Does it deserve to be spoken about on a podcast? Tune in next time to find out. But that's going to do it for another episode of Retrotopia. Now, if you go right back to the start and collect all of the silver coins this time, we'll let you fight Sam. Thanks for listening. Have a good day. Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out the heroes at our hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to The Fletchman, Cuckarina of Tim, Schnitzel, Peter Brukers, Isaias, Ryan Semke, Guy Who Does Things, Joe Frigger, Shadowblaze511, Dan Torma, Brian Heng, Sharkbite, Brian Spritzer, Ovindley, Shane's World, Brother Retro, H, Raging Demon, Old Man Gamer, Game Genius, Dylan Jacobson, The Big Deal, Mr. Blobbert Blobbertstein, King Hooley III, Calin Higas, Radmac, Fallen Snow Kiku, Stud Still Smash, Sergeant Ombre, Big Brown Dog, Jack Datchler, Unbuckled Cape, Wildcard, Super Dave, Sir Busts a Lot, Big Kid 782, David Hendley, Chris Kaplane, J Nasty 15, Because 19, Randy Berridge, Makeshift Money, and Andrew Wright. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.